divisional opponent lightly. Chris Canty, should the Cowboys be on upset alert tonight?
Yeah, the Cowboys better be ready for the New York Giants because, I mean, you're catching the Giants at a time where they're trying to get healthy. Now, they're not going to have Sterling Shepard, but they will have Evan Ingram, they will have Golden Tate, and they will have Saquon Barkley. So this is going to be a test for that Dallas Cowboys defense, but it'll also be our first opportunity to look at how Rod Marinelli uses Michael Bennett, the defensive end that they traded for from the Patriots, and how he sprinkles him in there with DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn in that pass rush, especially in sub-packages on long downs and distances. But as far as the Cowboys are concerned offensively, they shouldn't be concerned because Dak Prescott owns the New York Giants. That defense has been suspect all year long, especially the back end. And Dak Prescott in his last 5 games against the Giants, 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. Healthy Amari Cooper, healthy Michael Gallup, a fresh Ezekiel Elliott coming off the bye week. The Dallas Cowboys should be fine as long as this team shows up. But you can't discount this opponent in the New York Giants. You know, with divisional opponents, you got to throw the records out of the window. These two teams know each other, so there won't be any state secrets. It'll come down to who executes the best, and the Dallas Cowboys throughout the course of this season have shown more consistency in that regard.
Typically, I would, with respect to Chris Canty, disagree with a lot of that and say, divisional opponent or not, the Giants stink. Danny Dimes going to fumble the ball at least once, probably twice in this football game. The defense is awful. The Cowboys are not going to lose this game. However, the last time the Dallas Cowboys came to MetLife, what happened? They lost to what might be the worst team in football. They lost to the New York Jets in embarrassing fashion. Now, all losses to the New York Jets are embarrassing. How do I know? Because it's the only one, and they just got mollywopped by the Dolphins. We got to see last night the old, what if Alabama played an NFL team? Well, Alabama just beat an NFL team with the Dolphins beating the Jets. And so you can't put just the Cowboys laying an egg past them. But a loss tonight would be devastating for all things Cowboys because they are coming off their best win of the year against Philly. They are coming off a bye. Philadelphia was playing, I thought, a critical game against the Bears, a Bears team that had negative yards at halftime. And all of a sudden, if you were watching that game, it's like, wait, the Bears have the ball down less than a touchdown. They could come back and win that game. Philly still hasn't righted themselves. So Dallas, what they should do and what I do expect them to do, but you can't put laying an egg past them, is to come here to MetLife and take care of business, to consistently move the ball down the field on a Giants team that has shown no defensive resistance all year, and to say we are not going to let Saquon Barkley beat us. If Daniel Jones can play a clean game, if Daniel Jones and his receivers can beat man-to-man coverage, that's how you're going to have to move the ball down the field, because we're not going to let Saquon beat us. They should have the defensive game plan a lot of teams in years past have had against them. We're stacking the box to stop Zeke, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to have trouble, but I also have visions of the Cowboys being down, what was it, 24-3 or 21-3 to the New York Jets, so you can't put it past them entirely.
Here's why they need to win tonight, because look who they have coming up after this. Home for the Vikings, at the Lions, at the Patriots, Bills, Bears, Rams, Eagles. Nothing gets easier for them after this. So some momentum going into that stretch is so important for this Cowboys team, because even though they've got their guys back, you still don't really know who they are. You don't trust them week to week to go out there and say, oh, this is a definite win over the Giants. That's how I feel. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying, Jenna, and you're absolutely right. They haven't been the most consistent bunch, and so you're looking to see if they can stabilize it, and you're hoping that they found their identity in that last game that they played at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. That remains to be seen, but the one thing that I will say is this: the Dallas Cowboys are capable of playing good defense, and they're capable of running the football, and the New York Giants defense hasn't been very good in terms of being able to defend the run, especially perimeter runs. That Dallas Cowboys offensive line, with the schemes that they run, a lot of GC pulls, getting guys on the edge, big offensive linemen on guys that are in the secondary blocking it up, and then allowing Ezekiel Elliott to have lanes and put him in one-on-one situations to force a defender to miss. If the Dallas Cowboys offensive line can consistently do that in this game, they shouldn't have any problem going up against the New York Giants. That remains to be seen whether the Giants can set the edge against this Cowboys run game.
And both tackles practiced on Saturday, but they were limited. For the Cowboys, when they've been fully healthy, they have been an excellent team. So a lot of this, I think, might be determined by when we see who the 7 game day inactives are, what your expectations for this game should be. But the Cowboys, for all intents and purposes, should come to MetLife tonight, and they should dominate this football game. They should stay in first place in the division, and they should come off the bye feeling good about going on a run in the second half of this year like they did the second half of last year. If they don't, then no matter what the Eagles do the rest of the year, you have to start to really reevaluate, wait, are the Cowboys even any good?
All right, we talked about it.
Well, I mean, give me a break. No, it's not good for them. They don't have no margin of error. Like, right now, if the playoffs started today, Canty, what's the most important thing to accomplish in the regular season?
Trying to get one of those first two buys.
Exactly right. And the 1 seed is great, but it's a little overrated. The most important thing is to skip the first round.
To get a bye the first round.
So you say it all the time, and you're absolutely right. You'd rather be 1 of 4 than 1 of 6, and you can just the Patriots have had one every year for a decade. One of the reasons they make the conference championship almost every year. Playoffs started today. The Packers don't have a bye. As great as they played, as happy as everyone is, nope. Not only do you not have a bye, you are on the road in round 2 in New Orleans, if assuming you get through round 1. So no, they have no games to give up. When we talk about the Patriots, I don't think their loss was good for them, but if they had said that, I would listen to it, because they do have a margin of error. They are still going to get a bye, probably the 1 seed, and maybe it's bring you back down to earth. The Packers can't be giving away football games, and the way they played offensively was indefensible. I mean, I can't remember a Packers team with a fully healthy Aaron Rodgers where they don't get ruined by turnovers, where they are so incompetent. I didn't recognize this team yesterday.
No.
And Devontae Adams coming back, you thought would be a blessing. Somehow it was a curse. So, listen, the Packers were my preseason Super Bowl pick, yours as well, out of the NFC. I'm not coming off that. But this was a terrible loss for them in what was essentially a home game. I mean, there was 30,000 people at that game. 25 had to be Packer fans. 25,000, pardon me. And so, no, I don't buy that in the NFC this year, with the Niners undefeated, with the Saints only with 1 loss, with the Vikings nipping at your heels until the loss yesterday, that somehow this loss is good for Green Bay.
Well, listen, they have the adage in baseball, good pitching beats dominant hitting. Well, yesterday we saw that on display when you talk about the pass rush of the Los Angeles Chargers dominating that offensive line for the Green Bay Packers and affecting Aaron Rodgers. Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, 6 quarterback hits between the 2 of them, but that doesn't tell the entire story. They were much more dominant than that. Aaron Rodgers was feeling the heat all day, and Matt LaFleur in that Green Bay Packers run game couldn't provide him any balance. So you saw a one-dimensional offense with a quarterback that was rattled and didn't have the time to make the plays that we're accustomed to seeing Aaron Rodgers make. So, yeah, I guess we should be surprised that they didn't have the performances that we're used to seeing them, because they just came off of a huge road win Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. We know that this team is capable of going on the road and winning big football games, but the fact that they went to L.A. and lost to a 3-win Charger team, it's inexcusable.
And the way they lost.
And the way they lost. It was non-competitive for the most part. I mean, it was a double-digit lead for that Chargers team for the majority of the game.
And you kept waiting for them to get back in it. You kept waiting for Aaron Rodgers to go out there. Nope, punt, nope, punt, nope, punt. It seemed like that was happening every drive. You still trust this team as much as you did a week and a half ago?
You can't trust them the exact... No. Of course you lose with any betrayal, and I consider what you did to me yesterday, Aaron Rodgers, a betrayal. You lose a little bit of trust, but I still think that the Packers, at their best, are the best team in the whole league. I do believe that, but it is concerning that we now saw at their worst. That was ugly. I mean, they were lucky to get to double digits yesterday. They needed a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in the 4th quarter to cut it to 15. That was a shocking result to me. Not just that they lost, but the way the Chargers dominated that football game when the Chargers haven't been dominating anybody this year, and to dominate them defensively. I know they have that great pass rush, but Derwin James didn't walk through that door all of a sudden. And so to me, only one first down rushing the football, no running attack whatsoever, no consistent passing game. Watching that game, that was the most shocking of all the games I watched yesterday.
And one of the things that Packers defense has to get cleaned up is their run defense, because it was awful yesterday as well. They've got to fix that. That's starting to become a trend now, and that's going in the wrong direction. If they are going to be a playoff contending team, at some point you got to stop the run and then be able to earn the right to rush the passer and affect the other team's quarterback. They didn't do that yesterday, and they haven't done that in a while now this season. So I'm a little bit concerned about that defensive line and that front seven for the Packers stopping the run.
Do you worry, though, that they play Carolina next week? If they lose that game, do we start hearing some rumblings of that relationship coming up again that we haven't talked about all season?
I won't do that. I'm not going
to. Of Rodgers and LaFleur, no?
But so the relationship's been great all year. They lose a game. Nobody says anything about that.
But they lose it in really terrible form.
Right, but is anyone saying that they're mad at each other right now?
No.
No.
Right. So
it's all sunshine and roses right now.
Right. So what I won't do, other people can do it if they want. What I won't do is assign them not only an extra loss, but assign them after the loss drama that we've seen nothing come of it yet so far. The relationship has nothing to do with how they played yesterday, and unless I'm not going to call the fire department for something when there's not even an ounce of smoke, and there hasn't been yet, so I'm not going to go there with this team.
Yeah, there's no blood for the Green Bay Packers too. Everybody else in the NFC North lost yesterday as well, so they still maintain their position. But again, like you said, Nick, they're trying to get the first round bye.
The bye.
They've got to get one of those top. They've got to get one of those top 2 seeds, and we know that in the NFC, wherever that NFC Championship game is going to be played, is going to make a huge difference, whether that's Lambeau Field or in New Orleans or in San Francisco.
It's been a long time since the Packers had a bye. I think it was the 15-1 year that you guys beat them.
We went up there
was the last time they had a bye. So they have the opportunity to do something they haven't done in a very long time. Yesterday didn't ruin it for them, but yesterday was an unforced error.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, did Lamar Jackson and the Ravens prove they are the team to beat in the AFC? That's still ahead.